on DAZN Worldwide, May 2nd and 3rd. A knockout weekend of boxing. Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. 2 huge fights. Pick one or go all in for only $90. Exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Ryan versus Rolly. Does Rolly have a chance to beat Ryan Garcia?
You got a puncher's chance. That's it.
That's
he
it.
can punch. It's a puncher's chance. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you got power, you got a chance. I mean, you just got to land one, right? But I don't see it. I think Ryan. I think Ryan has changed definitely. I think his character has definitely changed. With the way he's displaying it now, a lot more calmer, very respectful. Look like a real businessman now. He's not all loud and crazy like he was. He's kind of calmed it and tamed it down a bit. So I respect that with Ryan, man, and I think he's gonna be a lot more focused now, and he's actually gonna go and train, and he's gonna definitely put on a show, and I think he's gonna win, man. I think he's gonna win by knockout.
How long does that fight go, in your opinion?
It won't go past 6.
Wow, everyone's been saying that.
I don't think it goes past 6.
Why?
What's up, fam?
Why do you guys think it?
Nah, there's too many hoes. Too many hoes in the game. Too many hoes. Too many hoes. Too many hoes. Too many hoes in this game.
Cut that right on out. Okay, cut that out.
Too many hoes in this game, man. Y'all know, man. Come on, ain't nobody stupid. You know what I'm saying? Stevie Wonder, you can see that he got a lot of hoes in this game, man. He's very unconventional, but got some pop on his shots, but that's it. I think Ryan's gonna catch him with that left hook, and it's gonna be night-night.
How shocking would it be if Rolly pulled the upset?
That'd be shocking as hell if Rolly pulled off the upset. Yeah. But I think Rolly's damaged goods, man. I mean, if you look at his last couple of fights, bro, he hasn't been the same since he got knocked out by Gervonta Davis, bro. He hasn't been the same. Sometimes one fight can ruin your entire career, man. He's just not the same. He's not the same mentally. He's not the same physically, bro. And after he left his coach, the coach has been, that was coaching starting out, good Bullet. He looks a little different. No disrespect to anybody that's working with him now, but he just looks different, bro. It's not the same fighter.
Look, Rolly's is good for boxing, man. People love him. People want to see what he says. Sometimes he's just a weird boy. When he talks,
He brought a pickle. Did you see the pickle?
Sometimes he talks things that doesn't make sense, but people still laugh about it. He laughs about it. People laugh about it. People just want to hear him, and people want to see him compete. I think it's an interesting fight. I think Ryan's speed and power will be the main difference there, and I think I do pick Ryan to win, but it's still interesting. Rolly's always puts up good fights, always puts up good shows, so it's a great fight to watch.
I like that, man. What are your predictions for all the fights on the card? I believe that it should go rightfully as planned. Me victorious, Haney victorious, and Ryan Garcia. Yes, I do.
Ryan versus Rolly Romero. How do you see that fight? Why are you laughing? Why?
Oh, man. I think it's going to be just a very unorthodox, crazy-ass fight. But I'm hoping that so my heart is with Rolly. I'm hoping that Rolly catch Ryan and put his damn lights out. But then also, too, I'm going with my being strategic. I think that Ryan will try to use his jab and use that strong hook and maybe knock out Rolly. But I think it's going to be a very, very good fight.
Why do you want Rolly to win?
Because Ryan's a drug cheat, and he know he cheated. And the world keeps saying, oh, Devin didn't get out of the way of a hook. He got hit with a steroid hook. I don't know why you guys keep putting that word off. It's like, it wasn't just a hook. It's a steroid hook. And it hurt him since he got hit with it the first round. So it's like, yeah, he should have got out the way of the hook. He should have got out the way of every punch. But the hook and the right hands and stuff had a little bit more stuff on him because he was positive for, was it Austrian or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't like that concept. And I feel like too, I want Rolly to win because Ryan disrespectful, man. He's a disrespectful kid, and I think everybody giving him a pass. No, he's doing better and he went to rehab or whatever the case may be. That stuff is in him, man. That's his character.
He doesn't get a pass from you for the things that he said.
Nah, he doesn't get a pass from me. Like, that stuff is in him. He was saying the N-word. He said things to me about my family, said that my dad raped me and all type of stuff. So I don't respect that, and it still hasn't been a apology from him yet. You know, he tries to laugh. Oh, Claressa, I was playing. It was like, look, I don't care how drunk or how you was. That's not acceptable, because if I get drunk and high, and I go live and I go on spaces and I talk about Mexicans, blacks, whites, people are going to hold me accountable for that. So he doesn't get a pass because he was high and drunk. Like, no.
Rolly Romero is going to be fighting Ryan Garcia May 2nd, Times Square, New York. What do you think about that fight? I mean, the whole card is so much going on, but break that fight down for us. What do you think about that fight?
Well, first of all, I got my plane ticket already. It's already bought. I got the receipt. You know what I'm saying? I will be there. I'm always going for Rolly. You guys know that. Inside out, you know, whatever it is. It ain't at the moment, which it is. But I think mentally, Rolly has an edge on Ryan Garcia. We whooped him in 2 sparring sessions when we were together. And right now, it's going to come down to the mindset of each fighter. Whoever comes in the fight with a better, stronger mentality, to me, for this fight. Because Rolly's, of course, with a different trainer with Salas. Ismael Salas, my guy. But it's a different style of training from what I train. And then you got Ryan. Reynoso's busy right now, so he's with his dad or whoever else. So now you got to check this out. What game plan are they going to come into the fight with? Because, you know, it all boils down to the chess side of the game. You know what I'm saying? Now, the chess side is a mental side. So now, like I said, if Rolly go in there and be like Rolly used to be, forget the boxing shit. Go in there and dog walk him, he's out of there. But if you try to box him, you have a long night.
So Rolly needs to come in with the style that he had more with Yigit.
Yes, thank you.
Bang, 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 bang.
1000%.
Gunfight.
1000%.
Wherever he hit, wherever you stop moving is where you get slugged.
Exactly. And every shot has bad intentions. You know, the thing is about Rolly, everybody want to make him a boxer. Mike Tyson ain't no boxer. Sugar Ray Leonard's a boxer. Ali's a boxer. Joe Frazier wasn't no boxer. Boxer, brawler. Rolly is a brawler. He's a dog. He's a killer. All that boxing shit goes out the door when it comes to these fights for this kid. You know what I'm saying? Started late, and we have to, these guys got to make sure that Rolly stays dog mode. If he doesn't stay dog mode, you guys are putting him back 2 years behind, 3 years behind, and that's not cool. You know what I'm saying?
Fireworks. I know Rolly, he's always in a great fight because he has power, regardless of his antics and everything that he says. You know, Rolly comes to fight. Ryan, all the things that are going on with allegations with Devin Haney and all this stuff, I know he wants to have a clean slate. So, you know, he's coming motivated, and I see him, beating Rolly. Probably that fight has to end in a knockout, if you ask me. You know.
Who is your favourite fighter fighting on Friday? We have obviously Garcia, Haney, Lopez.
Creo que Ryan Garcia.
How do you expect his fight to play out with Rolly?
Bueno, yo creo que pues es una pelea difícil porque Rolly Romero pega muy fuerte, pero yo creo que Ryan Garcia debe ganar sin problema.
It's a great fight because Rolly, it's a great puncher, but I think that Garcia, it's taking the win.
Coming into this fight, I know Ryan said like he's really focused. You said he's really focused because he knows the opportunities ahead. Like massive fights, massive pay for those. But a lot of people expected the build-up to be a little bit more, more talkative between the two.
Well, Ryan's always up for it. But there's two factors that people are forgetting. Ryan went through some turmoil. So to come back up, he's not going to be too boisterous because he's got to stay focused. He's got to keep his mental state of mind in order, and he's got to perform. He's got to practice. He's got to do his job. On the other side of Rolly's been stopped twice, right? So he's been stopped twice. So that automatically humbles him. So when you have those things happening to each fighter, you're not going to get very much back and forth.
How you liking him at 47 now?
My God.
It helps a lot when he's not having to make 35, 40 in a camp, right?
No, 47 is perfect. 154 is also good too. But that's down the road. But right now, 147 to me is ideal weight for him. And as you could see, he looks healthy.
It's crazy. We see this, like we have been saying this about Ryan, like every class he's gone up, like, oh, he's punching harder. It sounds harder. But now I could tell there's a difference with the extra weight.
Yes, well, he's developed his man strength entirely. So he's 100% there. And then with this weight coming in, I mean, you see the punches. You see how, how he punches, how he, exposes himself, hitting the bags. Doing the mitts, you could hear it. And when you can hear it and it's solid, you know that he's coming in with a punch.
How are you guys expecting the fight?
Rolly is one-dimensional, and if he tries to change it, don't do it. Stay who you are. But, I mean, we don't take anybody lightly, because anybody can, get hit, But I see it as Ryan being more methodical, more, understanding. And when he sees the opening, he's going to take it.
You expect a knockout, seeing what you've seen in camp?
Absolutely. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Do we see it early?
It could be, mid rounds. It could be, the later rounds. But Ryan's the type that if he sees it in the early rounds, he's going to take it, and he will take it.
Gervonta hasn't been announced officially, but Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez and Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. It hasn't been announced officially, but there's talks of Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero and then Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. What's your thoughts on that fights overall?
They young, so it's great fights, man. You gotta appreciate this stuff while it's here. You know what I mean? Great talent. You know what I mean? Even though things happen in the past, but it's great talent. You know what I mean? So I feel as though they great fights to watch and things like that.
18. Can Rolly pull off the upset against Ryan?
Can Rolly pull off the upset? I don't want to say that's crazy, but yeah, hopefully for him. Hopefully for the sake of Rolly, he pulled it off. But it's gonna be a good fight. No, you think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out. For sure.
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously. I don't know how to say it. Obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin now, so Rolly be getting caught. But Rolly, he can hit, bro. Like he can hit. And he's the only person I felt like when he swung, it felt like bricks was in his gloves.
How do you see this Ryan and Rolly fight?
Yeah, man, I like it, man. I think Ryan was stripped away from what he loves the most, and I think that humbled him. And I think that, you can see it in his eyes that he appreciates being back on the spotlight. And I think it's probably a blessing in disguise, because I feel that if he would have just stood on that high horse, he could have fell off. He could have lost focus. He could have lost track. And I think, whether he was on PED or not, I think him being stripped away from boxing was a blessing for him. I think it's like one of those things that, wow, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Yeah.
In terms of the fight, in terms of like the style, like a lot of people are picking Ryan to win and win via knockout. Like, do you see it that way? And if you do, why?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I see it being Oscar De La Hoya and Mayorga, Ryan being Oscar, and Mayorga coming in, that's Rolly, and swinging them wild punches and just staying sharp with that jab and throwing that left hook right in between and catching Rolly, and I like Rolly. So when I'm picking Ryan, it's not no hate towards Rolly. I like Rolly. He's a dope fighter. He's a dope entertainer. He definitely has a puncher's chance to pull an upset, But, I think that Ryan, like I said, I could see it in his eyes that he appreciates being back in the moment. And I think that he's not going to take it for granted. And I think he's totally locked in.
Let me get your thought on this. We caught up with Rolly's former trainer, Coach Bullet. And Bullet told us that he feels that Rolly has a mental edge over Ryan, given how well he did with the sparring. Okay, what's that response?
That don't matter. Yeah. Sparring is sparring. Listen, a lot of people got the best of me in sparring sometimes. Sometimes you're not even in the mood to go spar. You know, sometimes sparring you're just working on maybe looking at shots, working on your eyes. Maybe sometimes you're working on a jab. So it's like you're not like going full out in sparring. Some guys do. Some guys, we call them gym fighters. They look great in the gym and then they look horrible in the fight. So, you know, and so I don't take the sparring for any, you know, I don't take it too serious.
You know, I caught up with Rolly, and he's confident he's going to win the fight. And I asked him, you know, where's this confidence coming from? Is it coming from, like, your training? And he's like, Marcos, like, look at every single interaction I've ever had with Ryan, and that'll tell you as to why. I'm still kind of wondering, but I think a part of it is, like, he's not intimidated at all by Ryan, and that, I know, you just, when you square up with someone and you just kind of feel like I could take this guy, and you have that confidence coming in, that's what I kind of equate to it. But, you know, do you get that sense when you're a fighter that regardless if you might have like a skill gap, that when you square up with them, you just like, no, I got this guy?
Well, yeah, you know, Rolly's supposed to say that, you know what I mean, and supposed to say anything that gets him going, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, neither fighters are chumps, you know what I'm saying? Ryan's a beast, Rolly's a beast. And, you know, these guys are going to they're going to put it all out there. So, you know, stylistically, I just feel like it favors Ryan by a lot just because he got the range, he got the speed, you know what I'm saying, and he has the power.
You know, he looked good, man. It's good to see him, like, healthy and fast, and you can tell, like, this weight is a good weight for him. Does it last all 12, or?
No, I think it's one of those fights that goes, like, they don't go past 5.
Okay, so like every single person I've spoken to has told me it won't go past 6. I kid you not. Why do you guys all think it's going to finish like that early?
Because Ryan's explosive, and no one punches as hard as Ryan in the division, and that left hook is nasty, it's fast, it comes from a long distance, so you don't see it coming. You might think it's a jab, and then it whips like a hook. So, you know, and I think the size advantage is going to be really easy for Ryan to land that left hook. So that's just how I see it, man, or even a body shot, because, you know, Ryan can throw that left hook to the body hard, too. But like I said, man, I'm not saying this to play Rolly, because I know he might, if he does hear this, you know, it might make him feel some type of way. Rolly has a chance, but, you know, I just feel like Ryan's just on a different level right now.
We were just at Ryan's workout. He looks phenomenal. He looks great against Rolly Romero. He's seen as the favorite in this fight, but a lot of big implications for him if he wins. He has a lot of big money fights ahead of him, but how did you see Ryan in the weeks prior to this and today?
I saw him at peace. I saw him focused, and I think he's mentally ready to really take it up a notch, meaning he's ready to take that throne and be the next guy. I really do feel that. And the fact that I saw him at peace, he was calm, you know, shows me that he really wants it. And I'm proud of him because look, we all go through shit. We all go through crap. We all get knocked down. We all get back up. Good thing is that we have 12 rounds to do it. So I tell Ryan, I tell fighters, hey, you get back up, you get down, you get back up. You go down again, get back up. That's what life is all about. Life is like boxing, you know. So I feel that Ryan is in a good spot, and I'm happy for him.
In terms of this fight, seeing that he looks good, he looks healthy, he looks fast, he looks strong, he's not struggling for the weight because it's at 147 pounds. How does it play out in your opinion?
I see him more powerful. I see him stronger. I see him determined to really make a statement. I think the power is going to be the difference here. The speed, the pop he has in his hands are incredible.
Rolly's a big puncher, though, too.
Yeah, he's a big puncher, but when I think about Rolly's Ryan, I think about De La Hoya, Mayorga.
Yeah, someone else had told me, Rosado had told me that he thinks the same way. Why?
Well, you have big punchers who throw, you know, those are easy to block. All you got to do is be calm, stay collective, and do your job. That's it. So I think Ryan, it's going to be a fun, short fight. It's going to be a fun 4-round fight.
4 rounds.
I believe so.
So majority of people I've spoken to have told me 4 to 6, 4 to 6. Why? Why so short?
It's going to be at a high pace, and both fighters can bang. Hey, Rollies can land a punch. You never know. But I think the punches that are going to be flying inside that ring is going to make it for a short night.
So, what's it like training with Ryan Garcia again, and what's your prediction for his fight on Friday night against Rolly?
He's going to win by knockout.
Ryan and Rollies, I think it's going to be an action-packed fight for as long as it lasts, because they're both coming, they're heavy hitters, they like to bang. So that's going to be an entertaining matchup. Lopez and Barbosa's been waiting for this shot. He's recently crowned champion, but he's been waiting for a big opportunity like this. He has it. Teo sometimes shows up, sometimes he doesn't. So we'll see how he does. Now, of course, Haney Ramirez. I like Ramirez because he's one of our boys. He's in our gym. Everybody's sleeping on Ramirez. They don't see what we see. He's been training super hard. He's very motivated. So I'm pulling for him. Haney coming off of a loss to Garcia. Who knows how he comes back after that loss. So again, that's why we feel that Ramirez is in a very good position to take this fight and win and come back to the top. But all three are great matches. I mean, the fans are definitely going to be the winners that night.
Ryan and Rolly, how do you see that?
Ryan.
Why and how?
Rolly's not that good. Ryan is a better boxer. Ryan's a good fighter. I don't look at Ryan the way other people look at him.
Yeah. How does it play out? Do you feel it's a knockout for Ryan? Do you think it goes all 12?
I can see a knockout.
Yeah. A lot of people have said knockout within 6 rounds. Do you feel that?
It go a little bit longer. Rolly, he's gonna try hard, so I can see it go longer than that.
Do you feel Rolly's the same fighter since the Tank fight?
Yeah, I think he's been the same fighter his whole career.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been no better or no worse. So.
Ryan versus Rolly. The press conference, a little underwhelming. I thought they were both going to talk a lot of smack at each other. They're both very professional. Maybe they told him, hey, be professional. Like, this is going to be seen by a lot of people. But it's a good fight. It's a good fight. A lot of bad blood. Both can crack. You would think on paper Ryan is the more complete fighter, right, Abel?
Ryan is the bigger, stronger, faster, bigger puncher. Ryan looks huge compared to Rolly. And I think that size and the power is going to be the difference. I think that Rolly is not really developed from, say, four or five fights ago. He's still the same guy. I don't know who he's working with now, but...
Salas.
Oh, he's working with his mind. Okay, well, I think
they have 1 or 2 fights under the belt.
Yeah, he's a stubborn kid from what I've seen and heard. He's a stubborn young man. How much can Salas influence him into?
Ryan is not.
No, yeah, but Ryan's a little more. I think more skilled.
Yeah.
And he's got the power, man. He can crack. Rolly doesn't come close to cracking like Ryan. And Ryan thinks he's got the size, so he's gonna. I think it'll be 6-7 rounds for Ryan.
So Ryan goes back with Eddie Reynoso now, and he did well with Eddie. I thought he was doing well with Derek too. I don't know why the change happened. I think it's might be better to be in a gym with someone like a Canelo in there, someone like a Munguia now in there working. I feel like fighters do feed off of that, and that level kind of rubs off on them to train even harder because they're seeing these guys train so hard. But yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like, okay, the one thing is we know Rolly can crack, okay? And he's real awkward with the styles. And Rolly's really familiar with Ryan Abel. Like they have they know each other for so long because of the amateurs. And I don't know, I just feel like when you know your opponent like that, you have a better time predicting what they're going to throw because you've been seeing those punches on and on and on. Kind of similar to like Ryan and Devin, where Ryan was saying like, yo, I fought this guy as a kid. He always gets hit by my hook. Like, I know how to like fight this guy.
Well, what you said at the beginning of that is so true. Unfortunately for Rolly, he's the big dog in the gym. There's nobody that you can say he's looking up to or he's trying to emulate or he's trying to, not to say copy because he really can't copy, but Ryan has the advantage of not he's trying to impress anybody, but he doesn't want to be doing less than anybody else. He doesn't work. He doesn't want to work less than anybody else. And when you're in a gym with stars like that, especially at Canelo, like when I had Golovkin, I was lucky to have Golovkin because all the other guys worked as hard as he did. So we were fortunate to have a Canelo in the gym. Everybody underneath him is gonna not want to be unimpressive to Canelo, whether they're working with him or not. They're in the same gym. I think that Ryan will benefit from that. Ryan will work harder, will improve. And if the only problem I see in this situation right now is that Eddie will have so many fighters on that card that will he be running back and forth? That's going to be an issue for him, I believe. I've had that situation happen before.
I did not realize that, Abel, because Ryan fights in New York May 2nd, and Canelo fights May 3rd in Saudi Arabia. And
Right.
where do you think Eddie's going to go? He's going to go with Canelo.
Of course. Of course.
Wow. I just realized that now.
But I'm sure the work they do in the gym will be sufficient enough for Ryan to, like I said, 6 or 7 rounds for me is what I see Ryan doing.
If I had to ask you, who would you like to fight on this card? Is there anybody else on this card?
All of them are great. All of them are great fighters. I don't shit on any fighter that comes in that's not cheating. I'm vehemently against any fighter that's cheating. All those guys, I've known about them and the amateurs, so they all deserve to get in the ring. Turkey Al-Sheikh is making it happen, and that's all I can say. Shout out to Turkey for making it happen with all these fighters, and I'll see you on May 2nd.
Looking at this fight, Rolly, the press conferences, and even like the buildup, I know like for many, many years when this fight was discussed, people thought like, oh man, like they're going to like take shots at each other. They're going to talk so much trash about each other. They're going to go back and forth. But the last 2 press conferences have been really chill, really moderate, and even like the buildup, like you've been quiet. Ryan's been quiet. Well, what's happening here?
What more is there to build? This fight everyone been asking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing more to build.
Mm-hmm. When you look at this fight, much has been said about Ryan's left hook. Just your observations. Can you block the left hook? Can you avoid the left hook?
Why hasn't anyone talked about my left hook?
I don't know. You tell us.
I don't think Ryan's ever put somebody on a stretcher. Why don't we ever talk about my left hook?
Let's talk about your left hook, man. Left hook versus left hook. How does it go?
Why don't we talk about, I don't know, my right hand or my vicious body shots or, there's a lot of different things we could talk about.
Yo, how are your,
Well, let's talk about how Tank said I'm the hardest hitter he's ever been in the ring with.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about. Then want to talk about left hooks. Let's talk about everything else. Yeah. So.
To you then, Rolly, what are things that people should be bringing up, or talking about it, or thinking about when it comes to you versus Ryan in this fight, and the tools that you have?
Yeah, I don't care about tools or any of that stuff. It's just boxing. Punch somebody in the face. That's all you need to do.
But you got to be smart about punching someone in the face, though, and be in the right position to be able to punch someone in the face.
There's a lot of fighters that are super smart and they don't do anything. And then there's fighters that are fucking stupid and they just punch you in the face. So, whatever. It's just boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what happens.
In this fight, Rolly, how do you see it like playing out?
Ryan Garcia flatline on the canvas. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing like extraordinary. No complete like. Oh, this is gonna happen in this round. Is this gonna Nah, just sleeping.
Yeah,
Good night.
You're confident in a knockout.
Yeah.
Is it because you see like Ryan with like a lot of holes in his game, or like I don't know, just because of the styles that you and him both have, like you guys are both going to come at each other, or where's that coming from?
Marcos, I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah, what's up?
Pay attention to every interaction that me and Ryan has had.
Okay.
Especially over the last few years, let's say 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll change your whole perspective on everything.
Enlighten me a little bit more. Like the interactions you've had with him, like I know you've, I don't know, you stuck up for Ryan. Like he's had a crazy last 2 years, you know, and you're one of the few people that actually stuck up for him when he was going through his troubles.
Yeah, no, and everyone wants to go hate on him, Ryan. The only person that defended him was me. But still, regardless.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to all the interactions that me and him had. And you'll see you'll see everything from there, from a clear perspective.
Okay, I'm gonna look back at tape, but based off that, then like give me the perspective. Like, what am I missing?
You'll know the second you watch, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
Now that I said it, you're gonna notice it.
Did you tell us?
No.
No. We gotta do detective work.
You guys will put you, and I'll tell you like this: you'll give me a call back, and you'll be like, "You're right."
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. When you look at this fight and the last fights you had before, I know you've been training with Salas. Salas is an excellent trainer, but he has you boxing a little bit more. Is that going to be like the approach of this fight, or are you just going to go full speed ahead against Ryan as soon as like the bell rings?
No, it depends how I feel that day. We shall see.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe I might come at him nonstop and throw like 40 million punches. Maybe I'll box, like Reagan or something,
Are you looking for an early knockout, or are you just going to let it come naturally?
I'm going to let it come naturally. Again, with a power puncher, you can't just force things. You can run into a good shot. So for me, I'm going to, be on my top P's and Q's and handle.